And here we are, Tuesday, January 5th, I think, yeah. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting our lab for this week. Now, this lab is going to take us a bit of time in order to work through. Today, we're going to start with part 1. Wednesday, we'll work on part 2. Thursday, we'll finish off part 3. And then Friday, we'll make our transition from the inheritance side of genetics into the actual DNA side. So let's get started, folks, because we've got some neat things. Today, we're going to be looking deep into the genetics of a monster, or rather, a goofy-looking monster. You know, it's whatever. It's a lab. Let's go. All right. So starting off, we are still using Schoology. We are still in unit number 4, genetics. We are now in week 4, our yellow one that I put right here for after break. And what we're going to do is we're going to see a little bit more in the way of notes, very little. And then we're going to move on to our monster genetics lab, which I still need to number apparently. So let's get started. We finished yesterday after talking about how linked alleles work and what kind of Punnett square that makes. So remember, just sometimes you have alleles that are right next to each other on a single chromosome. And that means that wherever one of them goes, the other one likely goes as well. But today, what I really want to get into are the more advanced forms of inheritance. So something that you may not be aware of, Gregor Mendel, our father of genetics, figured out all of his inheritance rules, laws, methods, and things like that from looking at pea plants. And that's not bad. But to say that a human being and a pea plant are the same, that may be a bit of a reach. And so beyond just what Mendel understood and was able to explain, we have to go deeper. We have to figure out how we get traits that don't follow dominant versus recessive. And that's what we're into today. So what we found out is that there are a lot of traits that fall under these 2 rules also. I see the lights have all turned off on me. All right, so things can also be codominant or incomplete dominance or normal, simple dominance, which is what we've worked with all the way through this course until now. Now, if something is codominant, this gets a little confusing, but I'll provide some examples, I promise. Codominance means that multiple alleles will be shown fully at the same time. Now, that means that in our cases, let's imagine human beings. If black hair and brown hair were both dominant, and you got one allele for black hair and one allele for brown hair, codominance means that part of your head would have black hair and another part of your head would have brown hair. Whatever the color is, whatever the trait is that's linked to it, you get it. Full show. There's no blending. There's no mixing. You get both at the same time, separate. So that is codominance. Now, incomplete dominance is a much easier route for us to understand. So incomplete dominance is going to be more than one dominant allele again, but now when they meet, instead of being 2 separates, they blend and they create this new trait. So in the case that I said earlier with black hair and brown hair, if you got both in an incomplete dominance setting, what would happen is they would kind of blend together to create a slightly lighter than black color. It wouldn't be very visible, but I have some that are. All right, so the first example on the left, this is codominance. We're seeing white, we're seeing red, both together at the same time, just in their own regions. Incomplete dominance would be like the offspring getting a red allele and a white allele, and now those two blend together in order to make that pink color that you see in the middle. It isn't red, it isn't white, it is a creation from the two of them coming together. We see this stuff all over the place. Like you can imagine then taking two of these heterozygous pink flowers, one white, one red allele, and when you cross them, you can get any one of those three colors. This is not how panda bears are made. You don't take a black bear and a white bear and then they have black and white baby bears. But let's use this and look at this as an example. Is this codominance, where they get both dominant alleles and show both dominant alleles at the same time? Or would this be incomplete dominance, where the two dominant alleles blend together and make something in the middle? This would be codominance, because we are still seeing white, we are still seeing black, both of the colors from the parents are still both there. Something like this cat is a great example of codominance. Cats, dogs, a lot of animals, their fur color has many, many different dominant forms. And for them, it can literally be a division. You can see the orange and the black side. Yes, there's no Photoshop. This is a real cat. But both of them are being expressed. And then you can see also the eyes. The eye color can be codominant as well. The best example that most people are familiar with for codominance is really going to be something like this, right? Just about everybody has seen a calico cat, which has all these different fur colors patchworked over its coat. That's codominance. They got alleles for many different dominant colors from their parents, and because they are codominant, all of them show. In order to tell the difference, what you want to do is you want to look to see, is there a difference in pattern? Codominance is cooperative. If you play a game cooperative with somebody, you are working with them. There's two of you, maybe more, and all of you are doing something. So when we look at these two snakes, one of them is incomplete dominance, the other one is showing codominance. You can do this, just look. This snake is the same all the way down it. There's no difference going on there. This one has two different patterns, though. This one on the right, this is our codominant snake. This one on the left is our incomplete dominance. This one blended two traits together to end up with this one phenotype. This one has two different phenotypes showing up on its body due to codominant alleles. It's a lot like blending colors. If we're looking at incomplete dominance and we get yellow and red, the offspring will be orange, blended. If we're looking at codominant with yellow and red, then they will be yellow and red. So this is going to be the big difference between them. In the lab that we're going to start today, we'll give you a couple examples of incomplete and codominance. So I hope this helps with some examples. I can't wait to see everybody in class as we start to embark on our monster genetics lab. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in class.